Yo. Welcome back to it's the fourth episode of Deep Rooted Podcast. Right here with my host, Nate, the Swollen Genius, and my boy Paul. Today we got on the scene Mr. Keon Thompson. My apologies, Dr. Keon Thompson in the building. What's up, Keon?
What's going on, guys?
Tell him you earned that shit.
Yes, sir. Hard
earned. You like that?
Nah, I ain't gonna do him like that, man.
I ain't no real doctor. I play a doctor on TV, man. I did just enough. I did enough. So go to your primary care if you got some serious issues, not me.
Yeah, my man Titter, what's good on him? I call him Titter, man. We got a backstory to that, man. So real quick, man. When we was in undergrad.
You said what's that name again? Is that Titty?
Titter. Kanye Titter.
Okay. Yeah, so one day he came up, man. He's looking just like Kanye West, and we just started calling start calling him Titter.
What happened was it was my wife's probate.
Yeah.
And I just had my wisdom teeth taken out, 4 of them. Wow. And my mouth was swollen. I couldn't barely talk. I was drugged up. But I had to get to this damn probate because my wife was gonna kill me if I didn't come. And so I'm there with my cheeks swollen out to, sides. And you remember on Through the Wire, Kanye West is like first single Through the Wire, and he's mumbling through the, doing that whole song. That's how I sounded. And my jaws was all swole up. So they started saying, Kanye, Titter. And it just stuck ever since then.
Wow.
Yeah, it was rough, bro.
Yes, that's why he was spitting through them wires.
That's right.
Yeah, he was wired up. Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up,
man. So, man, hey, go on, tell us something about yourself, man. Tell us what you do. I know you got some business ventures going on, man. So just let us know, man, what you got going on.
I don't want to start from the very beginning, but I met these brothers at the University of Louisville when I did my undergraduate, got my bachelor's in exercise science, health and human performance. And then through the urgent call to arms by my wife, was convinced to pursue a degree in physical therapy. So that's when I went on to attend Bellarmine University to obtain my doctorate in physical therapy. So since graduating, I've been out about 10 years now, which is really hard to believe, but I've been practicing in outpatient physical therapy clinics. I've also done side works at home health agencies and rehab homes. And so I'm kind of well-traveled, but I love what I do. I love my company. I love my coworkers, and I enjoy work every day. I laugh hard every day, and I never sit still because I'm a busybody. So it's the perfect job for me. I work hard, but it's fulfilling because I get to help people fulfill their dreams and the things they want to do with their life. So it worked out for me. So and as far as my personal business venture, I figure there's been some things, and we can get onto it later, but I've kind of had this emergence of wanting to do more. And I feel like that with my experience and my expertise, I have something to offer my community, and there's other business models, but I feel like I can do it better. What my business I started is a Premier Mobile Therapy, and basically it's a home-based or mobile-based physical therapy practice where I'll meet the client wherever they want to perform their physical therapy services. So with COVID going on, people don't want to go out the house. They don't want to go into busy clinics. They don't want to go into gyms. I come to them, treat them, and they don't have to have a doctor's prescription. As long as they are motivated and got some money, because I'm cash only. I don't mess with insurance. I don't like them telling me how I can run my business. I don't like them telling me how I can, treat my patients. So, but I do a little bit of everything. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I'm looking into. I've got a lot of good momentum going. All the people in my corner think it's going to be a great success, and I know it will be. So, I'd love to talk more about it, but I don't want to keep rambling. But that's kind of what I got going on there.
Gotcha.
So
my bad. Go ahead, Nate.
My bad. I kind of want to touch on a few things there that you touched on, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
You got your bachelor's degree University of Louisville in basically, what did you say it was in health science?
Health and human performance.
So
Exercise
you
science.
have
Yeah,
one
exercise
degree,
science.
exercise science. Okay.
Hmm.
So you basically have one degree where you switched a master's program and went right into your doctoral, right?
I took a semester off because my program didn't start till summer. So I graduated December. I worked actually at U of L as a recruiter. I was a minority high school recruiter. I loved that job. And if the PT thing didn't pan out, I think I probably would have stuck with that. And you know Dwayne Compton, right? Shout out to my boy
Yeah.
Dwayne Compton
Yep.
doing big things at U of L. He's my mentor. We had an office side by side. And now he's like a dean or something over there. I just got an email about it. So I feel like I could have rode that because I really enjoyed it. And I felt like we were reaching these young men and women at these schools we were going to. We went and traveled together and went all over the city, outside the city, recruiting, men and women to come to university. So, but that was a good experience to just work before I jumped right into school again.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You don't find where you can actually skip a master's program to get right into a doctoral, but yours is one of those that is fascinating that allows for that. And I wanted to really make sure that I spoke on that because for anyone who is looking to get into what you do and the foundation and background of what you bring and embody, think about that. You go directly from a bachelor's degree from a doctoral program. There's no master's degree in the middle of there. Now,
Right.
I'm pretty sure you could have taken a master's degree program for a variation of programs that would that would assist you in what you do, but it's not necessary.
Well, I think PT is unique in the way that they actually started phasing out all of their master's program. They had a plan, a Vision 2020 is what they called it. So when I enrolled, it was 2007. They had a Vision 2020 to transition all the master's PT programs into doctoral programs. And the main impetus for that is with the doctoral degree, there's a heavy emphasis in research and research-based treatment protocols. You have a lot more patient-based background. So for safety and being able to screen for serious illnesses so we can refer them out to doctors and being able to identify that. And then lastly, to make sure that we don't require a doctor to tell us, who we can see or have to send us referrals, or we get higher reimbursements from insurance. So it was a business play by physical therapy to get their practitioners higher education. So therefore, we're not underneath physicians as far as a hierarchy of
Right.
medical care. We are not
Right.
quite equals. We're equals in our respective fields, but we can see people off the street just like doctors can. So
Right.
that's the main difference. So at really real talk, I didn't have a choice because that's what they had was doctoral programs. But it's a 3-year program and it's brutal. Like my first semester, I had 18 credits. Then after that, it was 20, 21, 23, 18, 19 credits every single semester for 3 years straight, including summers.
Wow.
So, yes, it's a doctoral program. You don't skip over the masters. It's just it's all kind of bunched into
Combined.
one. Yeah. So, but it was fun. I got a lot of good friends that I got out of it. You get real close to. We had 50 people in our class, so you see them people a lot. So they become like your second family almost. So
Yeah,
Pretty
that's what's
awesome.
up, man. I don't
That is
send
pretty dope.
multiple people to him, man. My mom's needed physical therapy. I sent them sent them to Keon's way. My brother, family, friends. Hey, if they need a PT, hey, come holler.
listen,
I know somebody.
I can't say what I want to say because of HIPAA, but a certain who needs to write me a glowing recommendation, and I'm gonna record this person to put on my website,
Yeah,
right? So I'm gonna
yeah,
get an agreement on that because she ran me through the gauntlet.
yeah, bro. Hey, what you said,
Yeah.
That's what's
So
up,
man.
man. So what's your driving force, man, right now? What is the driving force for your own business venture, Premier? Because to me, being in human resources, I think about telehealth, especially since the COVID and the pandemic is going on. And that it seems like you have a kind of an emphasis on that. You'll be working for individuals that don't want to leave their home. You have a program that I can come to you, kind of like telehealth. I'll be able to help you diagnose something through the computer. So what is your driving force behind your premier company?
Well, I would say number one is my family, right? So, you know, we had a rough year last year. We lost a lot of people, and it made us really sit back and reassess like what's important in life and what we want to get out of life. And I found myself working hard and being tired every day. And so I wanted to create an environment to where I could dictate how much I work and when I work and who I work with to a certain degree. As much as I love my job, I love my kids and my family more. So if I can, you know, work just as hard, but maybe more efficiently and spend more time with my kids, they're getting older. I don't want to miss ball games and practice and recitals and stuff like that. So that was my main driving force. And, you know, this COVID pandemic has forced me to kind of sit down and think about what's really important in my life. So that's number one. Number two is, you know, I don't mess around with social media a whole lot, but I've seen a couple of businesses popping up and people that, you know, PT is a very small community and people that I know, I'm like, they're just okay. And they're running these businesses and they're doing their own thing. I'm like, that's some bull. I could do that. You know, I could do better. You know what I'm saying? I'm a better therapist than this person. And I'm just competitive in that way. So I'm like, you know what? There's a need because again, our patient, I guess, census dropped off dramatically with COVID. We need clients and patients in order to keep the doors open. And when you're not seeing patients, we don't have a business that allows us to do telehealth and to get reimbursed by insurance because they don't see it as valuable. So we had to revamp, and we've been running real thin almost a year now. So it also gave me concern. Like, look, because I got laid off not laid off, what would you say? Furloughed for 2 months. Yeah, I was furloughed for 2 months. And I'm like, man, if they don't start bringing people back, or let's say they lay people off, what am I going to do? Right. So, you know, when you're forced into a corner, you got to figure out, all right, if this goes down, what's my backup plan? So my backup plan is to create my own revenue source and to create my own business. And with COVID being what it is, if I can come to a patient or a client and not put them in harm's way, you know, make sure I have all my protective equipment on, make sure I put them at ease, they're in an environment that they feel comfortable in, they're going to be more successful with their treatment or with whatever they need to get done.
Right.
Because for a while, people just were not coming. They were just like, I don't care. I got a knee replacement. I'll figure it out. And their outcomes are just not going to be what they need doing it by themselves. So it's a combination of those three things.
And, you know, it's crazy too, because, you know, so being a professional in human resources, people don't understand is when you're furloughed, you kind of backed into a corner, especially with the pandemic hitting. Mm-hmm. Yes, being furloughed, you're still employed by the company, and normally they will pay for your benefits, but you're not paid for that time. Yes, you have the opportunity to file for unemployment, but with millions of individuals being out of work, filing for unemployment as well, you're kind of sitting on the damn shelf waiting to be paid.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double thing there where you're like, okay, I'm not gonna get paid from here, and then I can't get unemployment, so I'm kind of stuck. Yeah. Again, the only benefit is you're still employed compared to a reduction in force where you're completely let go. You're still employed, and 90% of the time the company covers your benefits, but there's no paycheck coming, and then you wouldn't getting paid from unemployment as well, which kind of makes you kind of step outside the box and do something different. Man, that's dope. That's really dope. That is truly dope.
So how can somebody reach out to you, you know what I'm saying, you know, to get your business, your physical therapy? You know, how can somebody reach out to you that they need physical therapy?
Well, right now, I'm still in the development stages of getting everything lined up. I mean, I don't know, Nate, you probably have some experience with maybe some entrepreneurial endeavors, but it's a pretty robust situation.
Process.
And especially when you're talking about healthcare and, there's a lot of liability and a lot of safety concerns. And the other thing is my personality won't let me do anything halfway. So until I'm ready to roll it out, and be ready to go, I'm withholding my contact information. But as far as what I'm working on, I just sent Baron a copy of my logo. It's legit. It embodies what I'm looking to do. My website's it's good to go. It's professional. It's high end. I've got everything's electronic, so no paper pushing. Online scheduling is set up. Keyless or touch contact free payment system. Online intake forms, everything. So it's all in the works. It's just some of it is hurry up and wait. So I got to get all my forms verified and looked at by a lawyer to make sure I haven't missed any of the legal jargon that protects me from lawsuit from a client, or making sure that all the terminology on my forms is accurate, making sure my documentation is going to cover what it needs to be covered for my practice license. So there's a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot, but I've given myself till midsummer to kind of be ready to accept clients. And believe me, as soon as I'm ready, y'all will know, and it's coming. So I would really appreciate y'all getting the word out, sending friends, family. I'll take good care of everybody, and help me out with this endeavor.
Hey man, how far you gonna
No
travel?
doubt.
I'm in Dallas, man. If I need a physical therapist, you gonna come to Dallas for me?
You know
If
what?
you gonna pay for it,
Yeah, here's the deal. On my website, it says extraordinary travel fee may apply depending on where you live. So your travel fee may be out the roof, but I'll come and see you though.
Oh man, hey bro, you silly. Hey, we gonna make sure that we have you back, man. When when you get your business launched and getting it going.
I would love to.
Nah, we can do that. So we can do that. But man, we're gonna thank you for being on. And you're welcome to stay with us, man. We're gonna move on to the next session of
I'm here. I'm gonna listen to what y'all got to say.
And so, hey, what we got going now, man? Our next topic is education versus trade, man. What do y'all think about?
Yeah. So
What y'all
we
think
have been
about that?
talking about this. We have been talking about this before, education versus trade, and I really wanted to do this in a two-part section, but since we got Dr. Keon on here, man, I think this is really good to kind of tackle because us four are all educated brothers. We're all educated. We all have college degrees, and regardless of the specialty or the field, you got to take in consideration now the.
Oh, did you cut it out?
Yeah, we lost you.
You frozen?
90% of the time, you could get a bachelor's degree per semester. A semester of school was like $7,000 to $10,000, and now they are upwards of $20,000 to $30,000 per semester.
Man.
And it's getting ridiculous, man. So, and also, majority of us are fathers. We have kids that are progressing toward high school and towards college. Where does that line for you? Because I know for me, my wife has a degree, and I sit back and I think, this is an education household. But at what point do you say to your child, you know what, if you don't want to go to school, it's A-okay, because it's not for everybody.
Right.
What trade are you looking to go into? Is it going to be military for you? Are you going to be a truck driver? Are you going to be a plumber or a welder? Because those, believe it or not, those trades are in high demand. So what are y'all thoughts on that?
Man, just for me, I mean, y'all know in the back my background, man, I have my degrees, and plus I have a trade. I have a CDL as well. And like we were stating earlier, I was talking before the show, I use my trade to get my degrees. So I started off, I got a CDL and I drove the school bus, and I did that for 4.5 years until I graduated with my bachelor's degree, and I moved on to teaching. And after that, I knew that's what I wanted to do when I finally got serious and went back to school. So decided to do that and use it that way. For me, I believe both of them are valuable. You can't put one over the other, to be honest with you. So in my household, I mean, I have my bachelor's, 2 masters. My wife has like 37 degrees, bro. And I think she got some more she ain't told me about too. But I mean, but you know, she's a counselor, I'm a teacher, and we have this. We often have this discussion. What are we going to do? What are we going to say to our kids? And we don't have they don't have to be held to the same standard of education, like degree wise, that we have. But you are going to have a trade. If you decide not to go to school and not get a college degree, you're going to have a trade. So what type of trade is that going to be? And like you said, there are a lot of programs out here right now. I know, especially in the school system, where you know HVAC is coming back. Ford's got partnerships with schools throughout JCPS here, and they're doing you know what I'm saying, assembly lines and electricians and different things of that matter.
I'm sorry. Ford got anything with JCPS is a double whammy. First off, JCPS school system is shit, and now you bring in Ford shit. Although I will say that new Mustang Mach is pretty dope.
I do agree.
All right, but you know, you can't be discouraging the education right now, sir. People hear this and they be like, shit, I can't even do it.
But it's the reality. It's a spade. Found on road dead. That's what Ford stands for. JCPS is not too fucking far behind.
Hey.
And I, you know, and no, I should have said no disrespect.
Nah,
no
I'm
disrespect to your trade, sir, and to your profession.
No, you say with
so
all
much.
due respect. When you say with all due respect, you can say whatever the hell you want after that. That's how it works. With all due respect.
With all due respect, as Keon said, JCPS's school system is shit. It really truly is. And and again, we all come from the JCP. Well, I don't know, Keon, you might not have come from JCPS.
I'm not. I came from Hardin County school systems, so there was no choice, and we got to go where we lived. So, you know, your perspective on it is a little different, right? I think sometimes JCPS their district is so large, and they can't fit the needs of all the different types of demographics of kids that are in the district, and it makes it difficult. But there are some good schools. Like, shout out to Tully. My daughter goes to Tully Elementary. She loves it. We love it. She's had an awesome time there, and we're pleased with it. But I can't say that for all schools. I can only say that for the school that my child participates in. So, but I do think it's a shame that, you know, depending on where you live, that can dictate the quality of education that you get. So I do agree that's a big hindrance on the school system. So and Ford, yes, they're crap. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I mean, they can be crap. What I'm saying is they have the pipelines that are going to get people jobs.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, jobs all day.
You know, you're trying to take away from my point here, gentlemen.
Sorry, we diverted. We went way left.
Bring your personal. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, man. But you know, but honestly, in our household, man, either you're gonna have a degree, you're gonna have a trade. That's what it is. You're gonna be educated in some way, somehow, some manner. You know.
So where does entrepreneurship fit in that, right?
But here's the thing. That's what I'm
saying. Like, you don't have a trade or education, or just, you know what, figure out your hustle and get good at it. You know, like, where does that fit in the?
That could fall under education or trade, to be honest with you, bro.
I was about to say that could fall under education, because with your entrepreneurial skills, man, you're gonna have to study. You're gonna have to learn the business that you want to go into, the revenue you want to go into. You're gonna have to study and learn all aspects of that entrepreneurial business that you want to go into.
Yeah,
I disagree there, and I'll tell you why. Nowhere at Harvard will you ever see them have crack 101.
They should.
They kind of caught you off guard there, didn't it?
All right, but you know, entrepreneurship, man, is a great thing. Like me, I don't have a personal preference of being an entrepreneur. That's just not my passion. Can I do it? Yes, that's just me. I could, but I don't have a passion for it. But entrepreneurship, man, is great, and I believe it falls under both. You feel what I'm saying? Because as we spoke earlier, Nate, you were talking about your brother starting his own trucking company. Mm-hmm. You know, that's education and a trade at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, because you can't drive a truck. You can't drive a truck without knowing how to drive that motherfucker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some type of training.
Gotta get training. That's true.
So to me, it falls under both. So any man or any woman or any person who wants to go out here and get an education, have a trade, to me, bro, by all means.
I think
Because I
at the
know,
end of the day, it boils down to a value proposition, right? That you have to have with your children or spouse or whoever else is having the conversation with you. And you got to look at, what do you want in life and what do you have to do in this life to get that out of it. So if you don't require a whole lot, you don't have a big footprint, you're not a consumer, you may be able to do something that doesn't require that make a bunch of money, or do something that requires you to have a higher level of education that makes you do that. But you got to figure out what your values are. Like, one of the biggest things I've learned is figuring out goals and working your way backward. So what do you want to do, and then work your way back to how you can start to get to that point. So if your values don't match up with what you're trying to do, you're already going to be miserable at what you're pursuing, because the values don't match. So
Right.
if you can have that hard conversation with your child or whoever else, like, what do you want to get out of this life, and then work your way back, that can help you make a decision on education versus trade, right?
And then
right.
So
I also think that a good thing is you got to tell them it's good to have connection, who you know. It seems like right now you can have all the education in the world, the
oh
trade,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it seems like if you know somebody that can get you in the door, that will help you out, that will also help, when in your education and trade. So I would say, talk about having good connection, friendship, building, you know what I'm saying, uh, building that bond with people, man, because that can go a long way in both areas.
Networking.
Yeah, no doubt it can.
Mm,
But
sure.
you got swollen genius.
So for me, I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn between the two. I think everybody should at least try college, and at least go and get that college experience. The college experience for me was awesome.
Yes,
Look at
sir.
his face.
Some of
Look at
the
his face.
some of the greatest times of my life were in school. Like, but on top of that, met a lot of good people, got a lot of mentors out of it, and got a lot of perspective. At the
Mhm.
same time, I think that you can become educated and start a new trade for yourself. Opens the doors for others, and not for others with opportunity. So, I think like Keon said, I think it's a value of both, and kind of based on the roadmap that you want to go, you want to take. I don't think you could. I think you'll be challenged in either one, and it's really just based on your mindset. I've known individuals who have started college, went to college, did a year or two, and then decided, I don't want to do this no more, and got out and got a trade, and is very successful in that trade. But then again, there's my brother Gene, who did not finish high school, didn't want to go to school at all, and then got out, got a trade, has a truck, and then he has his own trucking company, and he's also working towards becoming a brokerage, a freight brokerage. So he's moving well, and he's doing really well. There's that person that was, like I stated earlier, is an anomaly. Didn't get the education that he wanted. Didn't want the education, but he had a desire to be successful in his own trade, in his own right. So
Can I pose just maybe a general comment about the whole thing? So, big picture, right? And I'm gonna put personal experience on this as a spin. So, as I'm trying to start this business of mine, I have zero business experience, right? I don't have any business mentors. I just stick my nose in whatever I'm trying to figure out and figure it out. So it made me think, with as like right now in 2021, there's so much information at our disposal that you could pretty much figure out anything you need to figure out, if it came down to it. If it's a podcast, if it's a YouTube video, if it's
books.
tutorials, books, whatever. It's like, so right now, there's no excuse. 30 years ago, hell, even 20 years ago, like universities, schools, they were the gatekeepers of information a lot of times,
Yes.
and they're the ones that are allow you to have the permission to do whatever it is you want to do. So with
And they
those,
minimize trades through vocation.
Yes. Yes.
Those programs are shutting down.
With all of the information and all the resources that we have at our disposal, like it almost devalues the an education in the sense that what you're learning, what you're actually getting is access with a degree. It's not that you're learning anything, because you can learn more outside of school or a educational program, but you're gaining access. You're gaining the pat on the back, the A-OK to do what it is that you've learned enough about, right? So, and it's a money making machine. We all know that, because now obviously I don't want my doctors getting their degrees through YouTube videos, right? But some things you can just learn by figuring it out. Like Baron, he's been over my house recently. I built a whole basement pretty much by my damn self by looking at videos and trial and error and time, because I was furloughed. But I respect those skilled tradesmen that know how to do it and can do it way faster and probably better than me. But I figured it out at the end of the day, right? So I feel like if I wanted to pursue that, I've learned enough that long as I got a stamp of approval by whatever entity it is, I could go into that because of what I learned through the internet, books, talking to people, resources, right? So people don't really have excuses anymore. It's just access. That's what school and trade schools do. They give you access.
Right.
So you know what the frat says. Excuses are what? Tools of incompetence.
Tool of competence.
You got it.
So basically,
monuments of nothingness.
Hey,
and those who use them never,
ever.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So basically, what you're saying, what I hear you saying, honestly, how I'm taking is that really it's not even. It shouldn't, like, the topic shouldn't be education versus trade. It could be college versus trade, because all of it's education. I'm just looking that way because education. So would it be college versus a trade? Because you educated yourself on a trade that you didn't know anything about.
Right. But so, I have to gain access and I have to gain approval, and I need to get all these things through different avenues with the things that I've learned, right? So it's no good to know this stuff, but then not have it what's the word I'm looking for? Corroborated or agreed upon that your knowledge base is at a level that's deemed as competent to do whatever task it is, right? So you're just gaining access. Now, I do think those programs that allow you to have life experience transferred over into college credit. You know what I'm saying? Because a green kid coming out of high school that has 2 classes in, I don't know, economics, that don't mean nothing to somebody that's been working at a bank or at a loan company for 10 years, right?
Totally agree.
So why does that person not get any credit and they got to start over?
Right.
Yeah, it's funny though, man. When I was, my background I started with retail and restaurant and finance management. And I always felt before I got my degree, I was better off than a lot of individuals because I had that experience. It took me a long way. It really, truly did. I think the college degree, the degrees just kind of validated my experience more than anything. Now you have the book knowledge that you've acquired the book knowledge to go with the hands-on experience. So for me, that's the way I look at it. That's the way I look at it.
Maybe the why, like, the why versus like just knowing how. Now you know why, certain things work or how things work, right? From an education background versus experience.
Yeah.
Right. That's true. So, I want to jump into something really quick. Last week we had a quick discussion, man. Paul was actually absent due to the snowstorm that kind of swept across the nation and hit Texas really, really hard. We had a talk though about the perspective and how that was handled. And Paul, I really want to get your perspective, man, because I lived in Dallas for 10 years. I had been through a few of those snowstorms myself. But it was the first time that I'd ever see where millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people did not have water or electricity, man. How was that for you, brother?
Man, you know what, man? Bro, it was crazy. Because, coming from Louisville, man, coming from Louisville, Kentucky, man, we used to that snow. You know what I'm saying? Able to get around and the power's still on. We still got water, so we able to maneuver. So the snow really didn't bother me. But when they start cutting the power out and cutting the water off, I'm like, man, what are they doing? It's like 2 inches of snow to me. So I'm like, this is nothing. But what's so crazy, man, it was just crazy, man, because I wasn't used to that, not having power and water during a snowstorm. So, I mean, but it really puts your survival skills, man, to test. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to figure out what you're gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna take a shower or how you gonna, you know what I'm saying? Try to do everything your everyday life, but you don't have any power. So, shoot, me, man, I was pretty straight because I got under 3 covers at nighttime, or if I needed to get some heat, walk to my car, charge my phone up. So it just put my survival skills to the test, bro. So, but that was crazy though. I ain't never seen.
And what people don't know though, Paul, is that what people don't know about Texas, like you said, we're born and raised in Kentucky. We're used to the snowstorms. See, that shit that went on here, man. People get out regularly next day. We driving through it. We know how to drive in it. But what they don't know is when Texas even talks about snow, the state shuts down, stores close, restaurants close. You might find a gas station.
When I tell you everything was down,
yeah,
bro, everything was shut down. It was crazy. The only thing that was open for a few days in the area where I live at was Walmart, Sam's, Chick-fil-A, and it was 2 gas stations. In a matter of time, in 2 days, there was no more gas around. So, because you had people, you know what I'm saying, just sitting in their cars and trying to drive around to stay warm. So people had to keep filling up their cars and their trucks and stuff like that, man. It was just ridiculous, man. I think Texas handled it totally wrong. They need to do a better job. I mean, I know they're not used to getting weather like that, but they need to put a plan in place just in case that type of weather does come around again.
So, hey, Paul, what's up, man? Keon, quick question. So, I got some family and some friends that also live out that way, and they were talking about how the power company is like a monopoly out there, and that's why it got so bad. Like, because there weren't other options, or other companies couldn't come in to help fix stuff or get things going, and that's why it went out of hand. Is that, like, give me some perspective on how that works? Like, I got the cliff notes of it. It just sounded really shady, like the infrastructure of how the power grid was made was backwards.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I don't have too much information on it, but I mean, it's a few companies down here. Matter of fact, Jerry Jones, he has his hand in it. So, and they were talking about how his company was surging. You know what I'm saying? I seen a guy. He posted to where he depleted his savings because his power stayed on. His power and water stayed on through that whole 5 days, and he ended up having like a $14,000 bill.
No way they can hold them responsible for
so
that. No way.
Most power grids are collectively ran by federal governments.
Not Texas.
Texas is privately owned.
Yeah.
And although, like here in Kentucky, in Louisville, Louisville Gas and Electric, is your proprietary company here. It's one shop stop. In Texas, the grid is managed by Encore, but you have a variety of small companies who run through Encore's grid. So you actually have to go to a website called powertochoose.org and choose the company that you want to be serviced by per kilowatt per hour.
See,
but it still all runs through Encore's grid.
Yeah, I can have one electric company, and my next door neighbor could have somebody else.
Yeah, that is true.
And downstairs, our downstairs neighbors could have somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all over the place, man.
Yeah. During the summer, they do what's called a rolling blackout, where based on the zip codes you're in, they'll roll off your electricity for 30 to 45 minutes to preserve the energy. But as big as that state is, and it's becoming a melting pot, so many people are migrating there, especially from California, because of the cost of living. They have to find a more efficient way. Exactly. They have to find a more efficient way to preserve energy and also to expand the grid. That's the bottom line.
See, they started doing the rolling blackout first when the snow and ice hit, and then all of a sudden, after a day or two, day and a half or so, man, they just start cutting everybody's power. Waters, pipes start freezing and busting, man. So they had to cut water off.
Yeah, it's sad. So, Lil Paul, can I ask you a question? And just, in your opinion on things, like, again, talking to family and friends, they all say that they're okay. But what's the psyche of people out there that, you're dealing with COVID, you're dealing with this snowstorm, and you're dealing with power outages, and you're dealing with the cultural divide, like, it just don't stop, So what's the psyche of people out there and you in general, you know what I'm saying?
Man, well, I can give you my aspect of it, bro. Man,
then I'll give you mine.
Bro, it's been a rough month for me. January 25th, bro, I found out I tested positive for COVID. So I've been off of work since January 25th. Going through that, trying to get better, trying to get healthy. You like, man, am I gonna, what I'm saying? Am I gonna be all right? Especially with me, because I'm down here by myself. You know what I'm saying? I know a few people down here, but still, I'm down here by myself. So, I'm sitting in the house like, man, shit, am I going to be all right? You know what I'm saying? Is this going to take me away, from my family and friends? And then all of a sudden, I'm starting to get a little bit healthier from COVID. And then all of a sudden, the snowstorm comes. And, they cut the water, they cut the power. I'm like, man, what's really going on? So me, man, I'm a strong-minded person, strong. You know what I'm saying? I try to be, very strong, especially for my family and friends that, that's here for me, that needs me. But, I ain't gonna lie to you. For a while, man, I was kind of down, man. My brother Nate, talking to him, man, almost every day, saying kept me up. My mother, sister, and them calling, checking on me. So, you know what I'm saying? It gave me a little motivation to not give up. And then, saying me, man, just keeping the faith, bro. Just keeping the faith, praying to God, man. Just keep it moving, man. Just keep it moving.
That's real.
That's hard, man.
My perspective. Thank you, Paul. Let me give you my perspective. And y'all know it's gonna be something real silly. So imagine this. You can't wash your balls for 3 days.
Man.
Can't wash your balls
Wet
for 3
wipes.
days.
Wet wipes.
Hey.
Wait, hold up. You can't wash your balls for 3 days. You have no wet wipes. The stores are closed. The pipes been busted in your apartment. So all the shit you got is destroyed. You scared to open up your refrigerator because you forgot to go grocery shopping. You done ran all the damn gas out of your car from trying to stay warm. Motherfucker sends you $1,000 bill for the electricity that you did not have. The state is shut down because the roads are icy. And keep in mind, Texas doesn't use salt. They put down a brine, and then they'll put down some sand and rocks for traction. Then you ride down the street, a motherfucker shoot a rock up against your windshield. Now you got a cracked windshield.
Man.
On the border is closed, so I can't go get me a burrito. And there's a pandemic. Imagine how I feel. But I understand the first thing. The first thing is you can't wash your house for 3 days.
Right.
You have no water.
Think about it.
No electricity to boil any water.
Hey, think about this too, bro. You ain't got no water, bro. So just think if your stomach started hurting, you gotta take a shit. Hey, bro, you better put a Walmart bag in that toilet and
dump in the plastic bag. Wipe with the plastic bag. You throw it outside on somebody's car.
This fool has no sense.
Hey, you stupid, bro.
Throw it. And look, Paul, you live on the 3rd floor. You could pitch that bitch a long way, too. Could you imagine swinging that bitch around, just pitching that bitch out there?
Off the balcony, bro. Off the balcony.
Straight off the balcony.
Hey, and then the power's out, so you got to do it at nighttime, though, so can't nobody see. Just think, you do it at nighttime, throw that motherfucker, you hit somebody in the head with that bitch.
Man, I threw that bitch straight to the office roof. And then when it gets hot outside, because, Texas heat up real quick. You see the shit just running down the roof on somebody's head. That's nasty, man. That's so nasty.
This man's mind, he's got issues,
Man, you said that, bro. Look, the snow was melted in like a day and a half.
Of course. It's always the case.
It got up to 80 degrees.
Dang.
One day. This past week, bro.
Gone. And it's gone.
It was like it never happened.
It's like
that's
gone, man.
Well, shoot, man. Paul, you keep your head up, brother. Man, it just sounds like it was rough out there, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Fellas, this has been a really good show, man. This has been a really good show. Keon, we really appreciate you coming on, man, giving us your perspective and your background, your foundation, and, of course, the new entrepreneurship adventure into Premier. We wish you all the best with that, man. We definitely want to get you back on to our next show when you are actually physically up and running.
Yes.
Tell the wife we didn't mean to hold you for too long.
Look, there she is looking at me through the window, tapping her watch. Like, let's go.
It's time. Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So again, guys, thanks for this 4th recording of Deep Rooted Ventilation Podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
All right, brother.